years, so a year and a week ago, I weighed 160 pounds. And I'm 5'6", 5'7". 160 pounds is 15 pounds more than I weighed when I was in my 20s. So most of that accumulated over time, 145 to 160. But I would say probably a good half of that, 5 to 10 pounds, accumulated since I got elected. Because in my role these days, there's a lot of meetings, a lot of sitting around, a lot of wonderful food that's there to tempt you. It's easy to just do this and not. And thinking that going to the gym every morning and doing elliptical or treadmill or something for half an hour and burning off roughly 250 calories was going to keep my caloric intake in check was something that I continue to, let's put it this way, convince myself would work until the reality hit home when I actually saw what the number was in that digital weight machine. And the scale basically said, Norm, you're 160 pounds. My belt told me I was 160 pounds. The look in the mirror was telling me I was 160 pounds because it was accumulating right here in the center of my body, as is typical for a man of 50 to 60 years old, as I am. So I said, this is not going to work. I don't have any plans on going through the rest of my life in ill health, and I've been studying health enough to know that there is a correlation, or at least a relationship, between the extra weight and all the symptoms that people notice during the rusty years. And I also didn't want to jeopardize the opportunity to actually go to maybe a wedding of one of my grandchildren, should I ever have any, that kind of thing. So I basically made a goal for myself of 145. There's no reason why, since I haven't changed my height, that I can't achieve the weight I was back in the 20s when I used to be climbing mountains and doing all kinds of other things. So that was the goal, and I took the help of a little app, they call them, a little program, and it's called MyFitnessPal. And there's a whole bunch of other ones out there, which is the one I picked. And on my iPhone and on my iPad and on my computer, but the computer is more a novelty than anything else. Mostly it's this. I basically put in here what I eat. So this morning it would have been oatmeal at Timmy's for $2.09. No, I didn't put the price in, but I did put the oatmeal, and it automatically tells me how many calories that is. I put in the half an hour I did on the treadmill. It knows the calories. I know roughly what I'm going to have for supper, which gives me an idea what I can have for lunch. So I had fish and chips for lunch, first time in months. I treated myself, but even though I treated myself, I'm still not going to go over the caloric intake for the day. Now I'm 145 pounds. I've been 145 for about a month. So I went from 160 back to 145 gently over a course of 11 months. And I've been holding 145 roughly, plus or minus a few pounds. But today I'm 145. Thanks to MyFitnessPal and the commitment to myself that I would actually do it. So this is not, and today is not about a diet. It's about a lifestyle change. This is a lifestyle change. It's no longer, today I'll calculate my weight, or I'll figure out how many ounces I've eaten, so I know what my weight's going to be, or I decided today that I won't have dessert after 9 o'clock because that is a completely different experience than having the same dessert for lunch, because I'm going to sleep right after. So there's all kinds of things that go on, and over time I've learned to make different decisions based on what works and doesn't work for me, and of course with the help of this, and a little bit of self-discipline to actually follow through on it. So I just want to give you that as a story before you hear some of our experts talk, because I'm sure I'm not unique in that story, and hopefully some of you have the same story. And for those of you who are looking for a way to achieve that story, then maybe you can take some motivation from me, that a guy who basically had a gut of 15 pounds not too long ago was able to get rid of it. And yes, I feel a lot better than I did before. The naps that I needed before are mostly gone. The energy is back. And when I look at some of those sweets, I know what the consequence is. That means I can't have the steak later on that night, or the fish, or the chicken, or the vegetables. Well, actually, vegetables are mostly easy to have from caloric intake. So again, as we go through this today, please hold those wonderful questions you have, and we'll be able to do the Q&A in just a few minutes.